Assalamu alaikum students, how are you? I hope you guys are fine and enjoying the learning here. Here is Usama Tahir and you're watching Learn English with Usama Tahir. So students, what are we learning today? This is not a video lecture about Paradise Lost or something like that. I will be uploading Paradise Lost lines by lines explanation with these videos as well. So no need to be worried. So now I will be talking about something literary criticism, something about in the field of literary criticism. So get up your lines because you're gonna love them. So first of all, before understanding literary criticism like a big term, like different people have different notions, different ambiguities about it, different confusions about it. They don't know how to explain it, how to define it, how to understand it, but I'll make it easier for you. So what we think so before explaining literary criticism, we will explain what criticism is actually. Your teaching method is not good, an example of criticism. But if you're saying my teaching method is not good, how you are claiming, how are you supporting your idea that my teaching method is bad? If I say YouTube is not a medium that is useful for the content creators, that it is not making us grow or just taking our videos and we are not receiving enough reward from YouTube, we have to claim this idea with different, you can say, grounds. So this is what I was scared. What was happening? There were kind of birds. They were flying. Okay. So get back to the point. Okay, that's what criticism is. Okay, now we have to think what we think criticism is and what criticism is in actual word. What criticism is actually. So this is the biggest problem, that we think criticism is bad. We think criticism is ugly. We think criticism is like we connotate, we associate negative ideas with the word criticism. For example, this is what you think criticism is. Like if I say you're worthless, you're sickening, you're inferior, you're bad, you're black, you're lazy, you're hopeless, you're thoughtless, you're boring. These are not the criticisms. These are just the mental abuses, the way to abuse others. These are not this is not the way to criticize. When you criticize someone, your basic intention is to evaluate, is to re-evaluate the phenomena and to give the idea how it can be improved. You're just analyzing something. You're not like saying something is bad, but actually your motive is to claim that idea, to support the idea with logical grounds for the further improvement. For example, you just say, sir, teacher, your teaching method is not good. Okay, no offense taken. How? And you're like, because I don't like it, because you look ugly, because your body language is not what I desire. Okay, this is what you are just abusing me. You're making me offensive. This is not criticism. But if you say, sir, your teaching method is good, but it has to be improved a lot. The way you express your ideas, these are quite unclear to me, ambiguous, and I don't get some of the words and the medium you have chosen and the requirements you're not fulfilling. I would say, yeah, it's appreciable. I appreciate it because you're claiming your thoughts with some logical grounds. This is what criticism is. Okay, let's dig deeper. What Google says about it. Like whenever linguistic students or literature students, they go to literary criticism, they just say, what is meant by criticism? We are just going to, okay, first of all, don't skip the video, don't go from there, because this video is not only for literary students or linguistic students. In general, if you want to understand what is criticism and how can you criticize in a productive manner, you should be there. This is a general video, not a specific one. Somehow, I'm going to relate it with literary criticism as well. Okay. Let's move to the point, what Google says about it. Like, you just go to Google and you just search, whenever somebody would say in the classroom, okay, define criticism, you just Google it and you just tell these definitions. Whatever we think, we just Google it. So what Google says about it: the expression of disapproval of someone or something on the basis of perceived faults or mistakes. Like, you're expressing your disapproval of someone, that you don't like someone or you don't like something on the basis of perceived faults, and you will tell the faults and the reasons. This is what Google says about criticism. This is a very brief definition, having so many contradictory ideas, I would say, because this is not only about disapproval. You're evaluating. Okay, we will not dig deeper here, but later on. So this is an incomplete definition. It will make you more ambiguous about the term. You will be more ambiguous about the meaning of the term. Okay, let's find out from bad examples, though, to actually understand what is criticism actually. So here I'm taking this technique. I'm going to tell you some bad examples of criticism to make you understand what criticism is actually and what is a good criticism. Because a criticism can be a criticism if it is good. Otherwise, it cannot be considered as a criticism. Like, bad examples are something verbal abuse, something makes someone bad, makes someone feel bad. But these are not, you are not just criticizing, you are criticizing for criticizing. You are not criticizing for improvement. Like, nobody trusts you. If somebody would say, your girlfriend would say, or your boss would say, nobody trusts you, this is merely a verbal abuse or a bad example of, because he failed to just support his idea with some sort of logical ground that why nobody trusts you. How can he claim that nobody trusts you? How did he know at the first place? How on the face of earth he knows that? You can't do anything with your life. We often hear this word from our elders when they get angry. You can't do anything with your life. How can you say that? Have you got some sort of logical grounds? If I'm lazy, the most rich people were lazy in their childhood. They were broken in their childhood. They didn't like to go to schools. Then they did so much better with their life. You only care about yourself. You're completely self-absorbed. Same, no grounds given. It's obvious from your request that you don't understand anything about this issue. It's obvious from your question. For example, there's a meeting and your boss would say, you just ask a question, your boss would say like, it's obvious that from your question I infer that you haven't understood anything. How he claims it? He is just making you feel low, he is just insulting you or something. But this is not a criticism. Like, you can say the good criticism of this example could be like, I think you have missed some of the points due to some human errors, but I was talking about that. This is the way you can criticize someone. You never listen to me, you're so egoistic. You never listen to me. Bad criticism are like, starts with you, with never, always, like you always do that, you never do that, and with you, and with strong words like that. Okay, let's find out what is missing actually in these examples. Like, ideological bases are totally missing. You are not giving your ideology, that why you feel that. Some sort of standard to evaluate someone or something. Like, what standard have you set? For example, if you say you can't do anything with your life, what are your standards of doing something in your life? What are the standards that make you believe that XYZ is unable to anything in his life? Is he a drug dealer? Is he taking too much drugs? Is he gonna die earlier? What are the standards? What are the parameters that has been set by you? Being unbiased and scientific. All of these examples were biased. You are being biased, having some sort of emotional grudge in your heart. So, criticism should be unbiased, pure from all sort of emotional distress and kind of grudges that human beings do have sometimes. And it should be scientific. And you should have scientific knowledge about the fact that if you're claiming that you haven't understood even a single thing what I said, how could you say that? You're a psychologist, you're a psychiatrist, Have you done some sort of scientific analysis on a person? How would you say that? How should you say that basically? Okay, this is the problem. These are the missing things. So let's find out, let's dig more deeper this time now. You're showing disinterest in studies these days. Like, your teacher criticizes you in front of the entire classroom like that. You're showing disinterest in studies these days, or you're not interested in studies these days. You're showing disinterest. Okay. This can be a sort of bad example, but right now I am making it a good example and giving you what is there. He has studied current and previous academic records of the student, and he analyzed daily routine of the student, how he is spending time, is he giving proper time to his studies, behavioral changes in student, like how is his or her behavior is changed with the passage of time. He is being careless, rude, egoistic, sort of some hormones changing. Classroom participation has been minimized to a larger extent. Exams performance is not good. So all of these grounds can let the teacher to say that you are showing disinterest in studies. This is sort of a constructive criticism, because when he tells the student that these are the facts that I gathered about you, and I found out that you're not studying, or you're not showing proper interest in studying because you have been lazy, you have been late, you have been not showing proper interest in studies, you were absent yesterday. All of these things make me believe that you are not interested in studies anymore. Student would think that my teacher is right and he will try to improve the whole thing. This is okay. Let's find out why it is a good example of criticism. Okay, sorry. What are the examples? Like, I want to hear about your day. I really do, but I also okay. Let's find out. I have you never listen to me. You are so egoistic. This was bad example of criticism, like we all know. What can be the good example? How could it be said? I want to hear about your day. Okay, John, I want to hear about your day. I really do. But I also want to share mine also. It makes me feel that you don't care because you don't listen to me sometimes. Can you please listen and pay attention to me? This is the best way to criticize. Because when you just say, you never listen to me, it's a bad example. If you say, I think you don't listen to me properly because sometimes you show disinterest and sometimes you say, and you just say, what did you just say? You make me repeating things, sort of things like that. So that's how you're providing logical grounds and some sort of standards, that your standard of being inactive or being not showing proper interest is that you're asking me the said thing again and again, and you're not listening to me. These are your set standards and you're giving logical grounds, and it's totally unbiased. It's totally unbiased because you have analyzed a fact and then you just say that. Now just add the specification of literary work and get the actual idea. Okay. Now we have understood what criticism is, or what we have thought criticism is, like saying bad things to others. It's not like that. Okay, we have understood what criticism is. Now the thing remain is very easy. Just we are going to relate criticism with the literary work. So you are just critically evaluating a piece of literature, then it will be called literary criticism. And the knowledge and the subject in which we study, it is called literary criticism. Like, criticism is an intelligent, logical, scientific sort of inquiry, evaluation, analysis into a work of an art to answer three primary questions. What the artist tried to express, what he tried to express. Did he try to express sexual assault, materialism, love-hate relationship? If he tried to explain or express that money is everything or love is everything, how he expressed it? What was the diction? What was the idea? Like, he used classical techniques like to be rigid and rich in language, or he used romantic technique to be not too much rich but using ordinary language and common man has been used. What methodology has been used? What were the techniques? Was the expression worthy to be expressed? Were these expressions has some sort of utility in the real world, which is the most critical stage among all? We will study these things further on. Basically, literary criticism is about analyzing, evaluating, looking at the literary work remaining unbiased and just critically evaluating the work. You will have some sort of lens on which you're going to critically evaluate. You can be impressionistic that it's your taste and you're talking about it, or maybe you're taking some sort of standard from Plato, from Aristotle, from Sigmund Freud, from Karl Marx, or anyone. I'm not getting so much into detail because later on in this series of video lecture we'll be discussing these things. So this was all today in this video lecture. I hope you liked it, and I'll be back soon with the new video lectures. Okay, Allah Hafiz.